at this time. Brazil, you have the floor for 1 minute. Delegates, remember from our simulation on Wednesday, I'm going to give you a slight tap like this. When you reach 50 seconds, that means you have 10 seconds left. And then I'll tap a little louder like this if you start to go over your 1 minute. Thank you, Brazil. You have the floor.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are representing the country of Brazil. We believe that it is important for the Human Rights Council to talk about indigenous people because they have been one of the major groups suffering from discrimination. They have not had proper education or health care. Our country cares about indigenous people because if we help them, we can increase literacy rates and improve our economy. Brazil has worked with the World Health Organization to spread the word about vaccines for influenza in poor indigenous reservations. We have also decided to have free education from primary school through college.
This will give indigenous people who do not have money to go to school an opportunity to get an education. We want the Human Rights Council to focus on education in Brazil. This will lead to higher literacy rates and more jobs for indigenous people. If indigenous people get educated, they can help with problems in healthcare, the environment, and economy. Yield that time.
Thank you, Brazil. Is there any nation wishing to be added to the speakers list at this time? Seeing no one, Thailand, you have the floor for 1 minute.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Giovanni and I'm Mary Clara. And we're here today to represent Thailand. We believe that the Human Rights Council should talk about indigenous people because they are being denied their basic human rights. For example, indigenous people's land has been taken away. Thailand cares about indigenous people because most of our population is, in fact, indigenous. Thailand cares about indigenous people, so we have been helping them in many ways.
For example, Thailand has worked with Impact to empower ethnic leaders. We think that HRC should focus on education. We think this because if they focus on education, then the indigenous people will learn about healthcare and about protecting the environment instead of teaching them all of the subjects. This solution saves time and money for the UN. Thank you for your time. We yield our time to the chair.
Thank you, Thailand. Is there any nation wishing to be added to the speakers list at this time? Thailand. Seeing none, seeing no one else, I should say. Algeria, you have the floor for 1 minute.
Good morning. We are representatives of Algeria. We think it is important for the Human Rights Council to talk about the indigenous people because we have to treat the indigenous people with respect and show the indigenous people equality. Algeria cares about indigenous people because we do not want the indigenous people to feel left out and be part of the country. Also, we want to prepare the indigenous people for the future and to have a better life. Algeria has changed several things for the indigenous people.
We have changed the constitution and law for the indigenous people. The indigenous people can feel more welcome. We have made their language a national language of Algeria. The last thing we have did is made schools for them. Also, the Human Rights Council should focus on improving on education because the indigenous people need to have a better education to make jobs and move. Thank you. We yield our time to the chair.
Thank you, Algeria. Is there any nation wishing to be added to the speakers list at this time?